Hello everyone, continuing on my black pine weekend of trees and work. This is something a bit different. This is much more advanced stock, great material, really top quality, twisted up black pine here. It looks fantastic, but it has some decent amount of work to go to be a future bonsai, but it has a great foundation of really top quality things you're looking for. It's got this huge buttress of a root base. It's got these exposed roots that you can see, which I like. It's a very interesting and different tree. It's got fantastic twists and bends in it, coming up to a very busy apex. Now, Bjorn had a look at this tree with me when he was here, and there's this little wire in the tree here that indicates around the front. Now, if you can have a close look, you can see why it's around the front you want. It's got the great movement, beautiful movement, and bends and twists in the perfect spot, just subtle. Now, this is the kind of material you should be looking for when you go to nurseries, bonsai nurseries especially. Look for these bends. Then you don't have to do the amount of the work that you can see I did in the previous video with smaller trees. So look for really top quality material. I mean, sometimes you're paying a bit more for it, but saves you 5 years worth. Like, what's 5 years worth? So just think about that. So this tree is not going to be, it's still in development. So I'm not doing the needle pluck and anything like that. But what I want to do is actually try and get some of these branches bent into place. Now, possibly they're not going to be used in the future, but I want to get the shape into. For example, this branch here is quite heavy. Might have to have grafts in the future. But at the moment, I want to see how I go, because there's this first branch here that's quite nice and healthy and small, and then there's this ugly, big, strong, heavy branch all the way out here, which you could bend and twist it down. But what I'm thinking is, in the future, what would happen is, if I wire this into place, maybe we can use it, maybe not. But back budding, if we get back budding, buds coming back and shooting back along this branch, and the way we get that is get this growing really healthy and strong, and then what I like to do is then cut that back quite heavily. Cut that back, for example, over here, and all that energy and shoots and power in this. The energy's still trying to feed, the tree's still trying to feed this area here, and it's got nowhere to go because all this is gone. So what it should do is should pop buds back here and so on. So as the rain comes down, you can hear. I might put a stop to the video and come back when the rain stops a little bit. But yeah, so that's the plan today with this tree. I want to try and get some branches wired up and into place, with that being the front somewhere in there. And you can see why it's a quality tree. Get some quality material, guys. That's another important decision. So I'll try and get some wire on this tree as well and see how we go. So I'll try and speak up as loud as I can, as always, and see how we go. But what I'm planning to do is just get wire on this tree and see how it looks, and start the process of getting this tree, first styling and work away. Because I think it's ready. I pretty much do this type of work any time of year with black pines, as long as you don't go and cut candles at this time of year and cut branches off. I don't really do that at this time of year. I do it in spring when it's growing, or that kind of stuff. But most people have different opinions. As I said before in previous videos, I'm not trained overseas or anything like that. This is just my interpretation and my experience with the trees, and how I go about it. Lots of weeds, but that's okay. So this is pretty much about wiring. Now, when I do initial stylings on trees, I don't use copper on pines and junipers. Usually I use copper when I'm in refinement stage, when I'm doing some detail wiring, when you're getting the real detail work done. So because this tree is the initial styling, I use aluminium because it's cheaper and easier to use and manipulate. So to get more tight bends and so on into them, I use copper when it's in refinement stage, when I want to finalize the design and that kind of stuff. So today's a matter of going about wiring this tree up as best I can, give it a good rough styling. The branches, you can see, are all pointing too much upwards. I want to get some lower things, bends into them. I don't want to have straight branches because this trunk is nice and twisty. It should have some sort of twists and turns in the branches as well. So let's have a go. Might do a time lapse because it could be boring watching me wire. But yeah, so we go. I can definitely see I'll need to use guy wires, and I'll show you that technique when I do that. That's when you tie a piece of wire to this branch and then pull it down and tie it to something more solid. The good thing is this tree has really good roots here, really strong, that I can tie things to. So it's going to save me time and effort trying to move things and have screws in the trunk and all this kind of stuff. So it should help, but we'll see how we go. So I've just done some wiring, and you can see in the time lapse of how that went. But now I've just come to a decision point where I need to make a decision on some branching. Now I've got this really cool branch in here. It's got nice twists and turns in it, etc. Now I was looking to wire that branch with another branch. Now I could see that I had a branch there. No, there, that one. But it comes off this very heavy branch here. Now, when you look at the tree, that is very heavy and ugly and straight. Even though it's got this little tuft here, what I'm thinking is this branch is a bit smaller, still not the best size, but it comes off, you see it comes off here. Now, probably the best decision I can make is to remove this. I can remove it today and wire this and bring it. What will happen is I'll bring it, twist it around. I'll show you what I mean. So because this is in the front, I can actually easily twist that right around and bring it around into that gap where it's supposed to be. So really important when you're looking, this is why you work on the trees, is you find these issues and you can remove it now. Probably a good idea to remove it now. I think there's no point having it. I'll just seal it with some wind sealer, nothing too dramatic, but that will enable me to wire this guy and this guy together, and I'll be happy. and remove an ugly portion of the tree. Okay. So a quick update. I've done some wiring of the main branches on the lower half of the tree. I haven't done the upper half yet. And I just wanted to set some of them just because I need to work out some of these branches up here are quite heavy. Now I'm going to have to live with those for now, and I'm going to have to guide wire them and tie them down. So I wanted to get some of the branches in place with wire. Usually I'll wire the whole tree and then I set all the branches, but in this case I just wanted to put some in place. Now if that is the front and we work our way up, we've got this, we knew we were going to use this branch in there, and that's always going to be a problem having this stub cut off, and it points upwards and then it comes down. So I've tried as best I can to wire this and bend that down a bit. I'll tweak that a bit more, so I've got it coming down nicely. It looks actually a nice branch, it's not too bad. I might actually keep it, you never know. So it's come up really well, I think. And it's in a nice position. I just need to fine wire all those branches a bit later. But what I did, I think you can see here, is I used this branch here and brought it around to hide this stub for now. So that will sit there and form a pad in the future, and should hide that bit there. So it's an illusion in a way, and it hides that issue there with that stub cut off. This branch looks good. This is the branch on the left side, on your left side. So I've just put some bends in it because it's quite straight, and bent and twisted it. Might need a few more kinks, but you can see that it's not straight. It's got a few bends in it. Now, coming back here, that's the bit that I cut off. And as you can see from above, I've bent this branch around to pretty much replace it. So that's just got to bud back and fill out and become another branch in there. Okay, and at the back, you can see I've got a really awesome back branch here that I've just wired and fanned out. It's got some nice, that's a really good branch. Wish that was more to the front instead of this guy. Love that in that position, but obviously I can't have that just yet. So that's a really good branch. And then just got a small back branch here just to fill in the gaps. But what I'm going to try now is look at the top. Now I will have to guy wire some of these branches, I think, because I need them. There's no replacement branch that I can cut off. For example, this one's going to cause me grief. It's pretty heavy and it's up the top, but I've got to keep it for now. Let me see if I can bend that down as much as I can. The thing with the height of the upper branches, that are quite thick. Now, if you let them keep going, they're just going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. But if you start to reduce them and not let them have too much needles and candles, it won't feed, the tree won't feed that branch as much. So it should stay smaller and it shouldn't thicken. So that's the plan. It'll never be the best, but let's see what we can do. But we're hoping we get some smaller buds somewhere. You never know, might get a smaller bud somewhere in the future. So that's a quick update of where we're at with the restart, with the initial styling. Looks a bit of a mess, but all this is setting the structure up, setting the structure for the tree in the future. Okay. So I've had a closer look at the top. So I have a few obviously issues again. So if that's our front, we'll work our way up. There's actually nothing in here, unfortunately. No branching in here. Tried to raise that one a little to fill that space, but ultimately this will probably have to come down into that spot and fill that gap. Plus, I will definitely need to keep this guy here. However, I need to get him bent down a lot more. So I'll probably use a guy wire to bend that. It's way too heavy, I think, for wire. So I'm going to keep that. Going to wire this guy down. Now, on this side's the issue. Got this lovely straight one here. That's going to be, I think that will be ultimately the future apex of the tree. So we'll get some wire on these two, twist them up and let them set and become the future tree, future branches. Problem is this guy here. This guy here, way too leggy and long. Even if I twist it and bend it up, it still will miss the profile of the tree. So if we look, let's say that's the left side. If we go up, And if we wire that, even if we twist it and bend it, you can see where the branches are way out there. And it's straight and ugly. We could, as I said, we could twist it up and bend it into place. I'm in two minds about doing that, or do I cut back to this bud here? See this new guy here? So if I cut that back, all the energy is going to feed that, plus feed this, plus feed these, plus feed these buds in here on this cut off branch. So that's a possibility. Remove this from here and you have a much better, silhouette of a tree. Or we can try and bend that and twist that into shape into here, possibly. So I'll look into it, see which one's the better option. But the big issue is this guy right at the back here. It's a monster. It's really heavy and huge. Good news is there's some little side shoots, side buds here and here that could easily replace it. So goodbye, I think, to this guy. I tried to think of ways to use it, considering that's the front of the tree. If we work our way up, it is at the back. Now the only way to use it is to try and bring it all the way forward and bring it in. I think it just looked terrible. So I think I'll remove that and use the smaller branches and let them develop in the future to become the branches we want. So I'll keep that guy. Now that's perfect. That's actually quite a nice spot there. I think we can use that and let that develop, and we can put it in any place we want. Probably just fill in that space here at the back anyway. Yeah, easily fixable. You got to say bye to a big portion of the trunk. The good thing is this has got a lot of growth, and there's a lot of energy in there, so really should feed this guy really well. Let's have a look. So I actually do think, like, if I keep this guy, that's very heavy, and it's just going to get heavier, and this is heavy already. Now, I didn't really show you a close-up of that, but that's quite heavy already. Now, I think let's work on these younger guys to come through and give them a chance. So I'm going to get rid of that. I think it's the future of the tree, so say bye to that. I always leave a little stub so I can die back. And definitely going to get rid of this guy. So let me just take it off here first. Yeah, it's still too much of a stub, too thick. So there were some buds higher up, but I think they've got to go too. So ultimately, we'll let that die back, and then we'll cut it cleaner to this. We'll cut it cleaner to this new bit. So keep it flatter. So when you now see the tree, you see this will hopefully not develop as fast. We'll get a bit of wire on that maybe, or guy wire on that to bend that down. But these two will make most of the new tree. We'll wire it up, and you never know, in the future there could be shoots here and there, so they'll fill in these gaps. Yeah, ultimately that's the better future for the tree, and that's what the stage we're at with this tree. Selecting the branches we need and getting rid of the things we don't need. Yeah, much better. Much better. They were just way too heavy, and you can see how heavy that is up the top here. It's too much. So hopefully we can reduce that in the future further. Hopefully we get, I really think with these two we can build a lot of the new top, a lot of the new branching, and the apex will form out of these two. But that's a few years away. So, but let's set the structure. We can always work the lower branches to get them right, and let the top develop and get it looking good too. Alright, so I might try now to have a look at guy wiring this guy down. I want it to come a little bit forward and down. So I'm picking somewhere, maybe this root here. I'll guy wire that to that. I use copper to guy wire. Because copper won't break when I try and twist it, or very unlikely to break when I try and twist it. So copper really is strong, and I use that to, so what will happen is I will put some wire like this around that piece and start pulling it down and tie it to this area here. Because this is forward, it should drag that branch forward and down. So I hope that makes sense, and you'll see it play out like that. So I kind of measure up how much I need, maybe a little extra. It's plenty. Now I do like to protect at least the branch that I'm pulling down. So I use this tubing that you get for fish tanks. Just some tubing used for fish tanks. It's slide it in. If you can see that, but you just slide it through the wire. Slide it through. So you have something ready. So at this point, that's where it ties the branch into, ties the branch on, and yeah, we can pull it down. So let me come back to it. So when you guy wire, as I mentioned, got the plastic on there. So thread through to the branch you want. So I try and think about locking it in a place where it can grab. So I'm going to lock it in between these two. So right, there you go. I'm locking it in there above those 2 points, and it should hopefully bring them down. It gives them more security there, and holds on a bit more strongly. You need your pliers, get them ready, and your wire cutters. So thread that through, and pull it down and forward. Just trying to find the best spot to pull down on. I think that feels good. Now I thread it through the roots, so I've got 2 to choose from. Might go in between both. And you're just feeling how much pull I can do. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to come back just to this root here rather than both. I think it's better angle for the wire. So pull down. If you had 2 people, it's easier. But 1 person, you just pull the branch with your left hand and twist to get some sort of twisted wire. To get some sort of twisting wire there. So you can see I've twisted it out. Now time for your pliers and twist. So it's twist and pull, twist and pull, twist and pull. So you can see how that's kind of come down quite a bit, and it's a nice position actually, not too bad now. Looks pretty good there, I think. Might need a little bit more tweak. Just cut the excess off. And I think a little bit more, not too much. You can see the copper's so strong that it won't actually bend it. So I'm just having a look for myself. Yeah, that looks quite nice. It's a good spot, I think, right there. So it's a good solid strength there. If I want to pull it down any time in the future, all I have to do is pull this and tweak it down, and there you have it. and it shouldn't do too much damage to the tree there. So I might just wire these two guys as well, just to set this into this spot here. So it'll sit into here, and that'll sit just behind it. So yeah, it's come up all right. I think that came up better than expected. Yeah, guide wiring is quite easy. Like, that's quite easy to do. And you set the heavier branches in place. And I might go. I don't think I need to do that one because that is so small, and the new ones will develop and fix all that issues. I'm not going to touch this. I'm just going to leave it alone, and then I'll wire these two guys, and I'll do some bit of wiring on these as well to set them. But that's pretty much it. I'm just going to do a wiring up, and then I'll do a time lapse on the wiring up, and then I'll come back and show you what the initial style looks like, how it's going to look, and so on. Okay, hope you're enjoying that. Okay everyone, so I finished the initial styling of this tree. I white out most of the branches and try to set them in some reasonable places and shapes. However, this tree obviously, if this is the front, somewhere around there is the front of the tree. So you can see some of the main branches in place. Everything's twisted and turned and so on. My biggest issue is this branch here. I actually put some heavy wire on when the video wasn't on, just to try and push it that way. But it's being very, very stubborn. There was no area I could guy wire it in. Otherwise, I'd have to use a steel rod, and I didn't want to do that. But we'll see how it develops in the future. But so you can see from initial styling, the main branch is the biggest branch, and it's the longest. The second one's a bit shorter, so it gives you that overall. You can see the balance quite nicely now. We'll be just tweaking a few things into place. For example, they got moved when I was wiring it up. Maybe this guy in here, just to fill that position. But yeah, what I'm hoping for now is to start to develop the candles further, and then do the candle pruning but in summer, and then do the bud selection and needle pluck in winter. Now to start developing the rest of the buds and candles, etc. So start to ramify this tree, and see how it goes. But I think most of the main branches have been done and selected. Let's see how it develops in 6 months' time. Let's see how it is in summer, in December, and let's see where it's at. There's still lots to do here in the apex. These are the new, as I mentioned, these are the two new guys up here that I've just wired and twisted into shape. So you can see that one's been wired down and twisted. Whether that is wired up and twisted to create the new apex. I'm hoping you get some shoots and so on happening. So we've got to clean that whole top up, because you can see the cut off bit at the back. That's going to take some years to clean up and seal and roll over the healing. Yeah, but my biggest issue is this at the moment. But at the moment I can't replace it with anything, and we'll see how we go in the future. But I really starting to like this tree. I think it's got the right, the bones, as they call them. The bones have been set, and let's see how it develops over in the future. I really hope you enjoyed that. As I said, this is just me and an amateur bonsai. It's not a professional at all, just from experience and learning over the years. So I hope this is, tackle a tree. I think one of the key criteria is get some good material. Like that is some absolutely brilliant material. The twists and turns in the trunk already. So now it's just a matter of what branching. You got to get your branching in and ramify the branches and so on. Start to build out your pads. But I hope you took away some valuable tidbits there. As always, please subscribe and like my videos, and hope to do some more in the future. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.